everybody. I'm Katie Arroyo.
And I'm Laura Manaswich. And this is Pinky Promise. It's a podcast about growing up.
Exactly. We crushed it, and then I ruined it.
No, I was just trying to take some leadership today.
I like
instead
it.
of sitting back. Like every week, we have a guest. We have a guest with us today. We have a lovely comedian. We have Kayleigh Dumas. Welcome, Kayleigh. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Kayleigh is a comic in Pittsburgh, right? You're still in Pittsburgh? Yeah. And we haven't talked to anybody from Pittsburgh yet. So I was like, let's get her on the horn.
Let's see what Pittsburgh's
The one
up to.
person who's actually not from Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Let's get her.
She is from Connecticut, so I was biased.
Born and raised.
Let's get an outsider's perspective of Pittsburgh.
That's
What
right.
everyone in Pittsburgh loves, by the way. What they need. For sure. Not like a proud city, nothing. No, they need it.
No. Yeah.
No.
Totally
Before we
open
recorded,
criticism.
it was we don't want to get sued by anybody in your story, and now we're just going to get sued by the city of Pittsburgh for
Oh, they'll find
slander.
you. For sure.
Yeah. Well, Kayleigh has come to us today with a premise that we've not yet had on Pinky
haven't covered
Promise,
it.
and
Miraculously.
miraculously, yeah. I'm gonna cut right to the chase. You got pantsed at a pool party.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I was in 8th grade.
Oh no.
I believe it was in the vicinity of middle school, so it was
Yeah.
like preteen. It was
Yeah.
not a good time. And I would I just want anyone listening or watch. I don't think they're watching. I'm just watching you guys.
They could.
We could if anyone
Watching.
wants to.
If you're watching, yeah.
Just remember that age and remember how little landscaping you were doing for yourself. Maybe.
Yeah, some of you were fighting puberty. That was me. Some of you were not allowed to groom. That was probably also us.
That was one of the sassiest things I did against my mom was shave my legs
Oh boy.
against her will.
Yeah.
I did that too because my mom is very fair skinned and had no hair on her legs. So I think to her, she was just you're fine. What are you talking about? And I was I am a monster right now.
My mom was a redhead and she's you don't need to shave. Oh, I don't? Okay.
Can you tell the kids in my gym class?
Yeah. I was everyone else is just touching each other's legs all through gym class. I'm don't come near me.
Also, gym teacher, stop all that kid touching. Stop the
We
kids
were more
touching your legs.
erotic of just trying to figure shit out than any other time. Just
Yeah, it was
did
we
you
don't
shave
need
your
health
legs?
class. We're gonna touch each other's legs and figure out
have
who's
gym
doing
class.
what.
Yeah, we have gym class locker. I do remember I remember being in gym class and it was the day that I noticed. Do you guys remember the day that you noticed you were supposed to shave? You're running along, living life. You're just yeah, I sometimes play with Barbies, but also try to find porn on TV. You're in that weird middle ground age. And you're and they both scare me. Yeah. But I remember running around just living life. And then I was leaning against the wall. We were sitting against the wall getting ready to do something either sprint or whatever it was. And we were in gym class and everyone pulled their legs up. And it was you were saying, Kayleigh, where everyone was just they just put their knees up, not in a weird way. We were just sitting regular kids, but everyone's shins are around, you know what I mean? And then I realized oh my God, these people have been shaving. I was it was oh.
There was never a memo that went out because there was kids who had cool parents, and then there's kids who just parents weren't there and have had a razor since they were in the crib, and you're okay, cool.
Yeah.
You have no barometer.
No, my friends were just they're I've, I don't know. I just remember we talked about it and they're my one friend's mom wouldn't let her, but it didn't really matter as much because she was so blonde. And then I was I'm not that. So
yeah,
I remember there was one girl who was just had a lot of hair, and she was sort of my litmus test where I was like, okay,
is this why we can't say names?
No, but I was like, if she hasn't started shaving yet, I'm probably okay. And then
we tell guests, like, if you're gonna talk about anyone, could you just change the person's name? And Laura is why.
Not usually, just right now.
So there's this hairy lady,
she was probably 11, and so good on her. But when you're trying to like keep up, I'm like, okay, if she still gets to like be a kid and hasn't been ruined by what we're all supposed to be turning into, then I'm okay.
What a deep take at 11.
I'm sure it was much shittier then, but
I still want to be a kid, and I was like, I want a dude to pet my leg.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted. Like,
I was like terrified of body hair. I
want my friends to stop petting my legs.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't okay any more of it coming in, so I'm just gonna fight against my body and the classmates.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But so, Laura, were you like, so for me, if I was watching that little girl, I think I'd more be watching, like, is she getting made fun of yet? Like,
I'm sure that was part of it, but she was also kind of cool. Well, she was liked, she wasn't really made fun of. So I think she had that going for her.
But then you were like, oh, she's definitely like, she'll tell us when it's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love
from what I can
stories.
remember. I think she maybe she just got by. Like, I mean, I liked her.
I was like, cool. If we're talking about like any high school I've ever been to, as like the litmus test for her is not good.
No,
maybe your school was nice.
No,
I don't
know. But this was 6th grade, so this was like right before it got super intense.
That's
like
true.
if once we got to middle school, it would. I'm sure it was like quick shave everything. But
were you not in middle school in 6th grade?
No, our elementary was K through 6, and middle was just 7th and 8th.
Okay, yeah, we started in 6th. Yeah,
eventually,
we were 6th to 8th.
My town moved to the 6th graders just got their own school. Like all the 6th graders in town went to one different school just for 6th grade, and then they went to middle school. But I'm old enough that 6th grade I was the senior of my elementary school.
Ours was 5th, 6th, and 7th were in one school. So, I remember
I got there though.
I remember thinking like in 5th grade being like, yeah, I'm like pretty mature now. And now thinking like, ooh, I don't know if 5th graders should be hanging around 7th graders. Like that's a weird age difference.
My school district was so like I want to say where it is to see if Laura knows where it is.
I do know where it is because we have a mutual friend.
Yeah, I was like, if you know where I am, I was like, I'm coming from like a very different like basis of what A, maturity is, and B, like what school is supposed to be.
Yeah.
We went to I went to the smallest public school in Connecticut, so
we got what you got.
They just put you guys in one room with a school marm.
We were like the biggest class to come through at 60 something kids. Wow. So it was just very dramatic. But it was like elementary, and then we had one school for 4th and 5th grade, one middle school that was attached to the high school, and then it was 6th to 8th. And then you just got to go through a hallway. Ooh. And then you were in high school, like double doors, boom, separate carpeted hallway. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
So we never were old really until you were literally a senior in high school. And then you ruled all the other mini schools. And that was it for 1 year.
I think we had nine elementary schools and 2 Catholic schools, and the Catholic schools were K through 8. So yeah, I think we had 9 and then those 2. And then middle school was like a giant cluster of all of the worst aged kids in town met up.
I would have paid like $1 million to do that though in middle school, because that's literally part of like the story is just there's no one. You're all the same people.
Yeah.
You just date each other.
Yeah.
And just know everyone's middle name and all their stuff and just ignore it until you leave.
Well, and I think when you are in such a tiny school, if you made it into the cool group, you're good. But if not, there's like no other group. Like, that's that.
Speaking of like, you can't say names. Like, there's like people I can remember naming, like, and it was just you were done in first grade, and that was it.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Like, how do you even handle that?
Well, like, little idiots we were. Like, I know some idiots who turned it around. You know what I mean?
Wait. I was on board. I was very much on board with that statement. I was like, yeah, we were bullies. Like, that's a big fear I have. And you're like, and then they turned it around. It's like, oh my God.
I meant like, listen, if you're a kid and you're like a nerdy kid, you have, in my school system, you had so many chances to like turn it around. Yeah, I'm doubling down on this.
I agree.
I'm one of them. Like, I remember being like, I was a different kid, like every school that we went to. Like in my 8th and 9th grade, I was like, I'm gonna be a freak in these schools. Like, I was like, and then like when I went to regular high school, I was like, I'm gonna not do that anymore. Like for whatever reason.
No,
but if you're just with those kids, like that's that, I feel like, which sucks.
I was that like awful kid who was like, you know what you're doing, like you need to figure it out. And then I realized like now, like literally in the past year, I figured out like I had ADHD. So I was just trying really hard to keep myself together for like so many years. I was like, why can't you do it? And I was like wound so tight, trying not to like scream like historical facts for no reason.
Yeah.
I was so mean. I was like, why are you socially awkward? Like, ma'am,
you were the bad kid.
You're like one screw away.
You were a kid that I'd be like, Katie, you got to make yourself over again when you get to a new school because Kayleigh's coming for you.
Just going to make you talk. I'm definitely someone's like biography. Like someone hates me. And I know that.
Now you can turn it around.
Yeah.
Right age of 27 when I try and do stand-up, someone's going to show up at a show and be like, hey, remember that? I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Just going to start yelling historical facts during your set.
If you have like one joke that doesn't hit, they're going to be like, why are you so awkward?
Look, I just found out. Literally happened at a mic the other day. I was like, all right, I'm having a bad day, but I'm going to go out. I went up to the host and he's like, why are you yelling? I'm like, sorry. I'll go back in the corner. I'm like, thanks.
You're like, that's just me.
I'm like, that's just my voice. We haven't talked in a while. Sorry, it's not yelling.
It's not yelling. It's just who you are.
Oh, goodness.
So you're in 8th grade. It's summer vacation.
Yep, summer vacation.
Pool's open, I'm guessing.
Pool's open, and I can't make up names for everyone, but I can give you personas because it's real hard otherwise.
Yeah.
But we went to a pool party, and it was still at the same age where everything becomes like separated immediately. Mm-hmm. Like you just show up, everyone takes their towels, and the men just disappear. You never see them again. Yeah. So you all go into like the pool together. But so the girls are separated. The dudes were on like a trampoline for, I would say, 7 hours.
Being cool, doing like cool trampoline stuff.
Doing like cool like in a circle with like the towels over them, like little gremlins with like their Coke cans. I'm like, what could they be even doing?
Trying to practice the Jordan jump on the trampoline.
Yeah. And then missed like the best thing they could have in their entire lives because they were, I don't know, pretending to do D&D. Good for you guys.
Sure.
But I went with my friends, so like very close friends. I won't say her name, but she knows exactly who she is. And like the biggest problem of East Granby, like I said before, is there's 4 of us. Yeah. So if you want to date someone, they've definitely already dated someone. Or in my case, I was just slutty and really kissed everyone.
Okay.
So
live life, you know?
Oh, live Maz. Live life.
Live your life. Just do it.
Live your life. So I had a lot of boyfriends. And at this point, I was being middle school slutty and I made out with someone on a like Do you remember lake compounds? Anyone here know lake compounds?
Yes.
Yes. So it's like a
tiny,
natural...
It's a tiny amusement
park, I guess.
Yeah.
What would you call it? Yeah.
To me, my biggest memory of lake compounds is their big deal was like the Pepsi is unlimited all day, but there's 1,000 bees, and so you can have as many bees in your soda as you want, and that is my memory of lake compounds.
Nice.
Yours seems probably different. You were making out with boys at the lake compounds.
Laura's like, there was a lot of bees.
Yeah, I was like,
I was stuck in face, so like, I don't know what you were doing.
I was like, I was necking, as my mom would say. Like, I was not. I was probably much cooler in middle school than I was in high school. But in middle school, I was really cool. I was making out with people.
Okay.
But it was one of my, like,
making out with people.
Making out with people, but this was like someone I should not have been making out with.
Like it was a friend's boyfriend kind of
friend's
thing?
Like
or
ex, but it was a very fresh ex.
Okay.
And I should have apologized. And I don't think I did until senior year and got yelled at. But this is recorded forever. I apologize. I should not have done that. That was terrible. And he was not worth it. I'm also friends with him still, but sorry. That's what happens. You really just hold on, and the people you make out with, you keep in East Granby. It's how it goes. And so you can't really talk at that time. You only had like instant messaging and then the parties.
Yeah.
So this had happened in like spring, and then we got back to school, and then everyone kind of knew, but then it dropped off, and then it was summer. So I thought it had blown over.
And when you say it had blown over, you mean like the girlfriend who was the ex was mad.
Yes, for the haunted house makeout.
Necking backlash.
Oh, it was a haunted house makeout.
Yes, haunted house makeout, the necking.
So this was like months later.
Like in my brain, it was months later. Probably like a month and a half. But in like middle school, I was like, well, it's the summer. We're here.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah. Time to reinvent.
So, Time to reinvent. Who wants to hear a historical fact?
Yeah.
And like we were good friends too, so it was just I felt like we probably would have brought it up, but like none of us knew how to communicate. We were children and drinking like 12 pounds of Coke and thought that was the solution.
Yeah.
So we all rolled up to this pool party, and he's there, she's there, I'm there, and then all of a sudden we started up this like aggressive game of badminton because that's the most.
You and the girl?
Me and the guy.
Okay.
Or there's a double going on, and then all of a sudden our partners went, and now it was just us playing badminton. So it was like, oh no, like we're playing badminton together, and it's saucy apparently. And this is the most Connecticut like
I love this
like,
story. So there's like flirting during the badminton.
So flirting through like the badminton.
You didn't learn your lesson.
No,
you were
I learned
like,
0% of my lesson. What did we learn this year? We have some impulse control issues. No one was medicating me. Throwing bad Cokes. Like,
yeah, but sexual tension badminton is the hottest part of any movie.
Any summer.
What ADHD med could have prevented hot badminton action? Really,
horned up tweens. Come on, there's not a Ritalin in the world that could have.
Connecticut with badminton. No, you couldn't stop it. So it's getting on. All the girls are watching this because the girls have concept of what's happening because women know. The men, again, have been on this trampoline since 4:01. Like, everyone dunked themselves in the pool, and the men are like, we have important things to discuss over there.
Cigars and brandy on the trampoline.
Cigars and brandy on the trampoline, the hottest area in the entire yard.
Yeah.
We must be there. Everyone's turned around. All of a sudden, my friend, God bless her, sprints across. I'm like, full, like in a bikini, just playing badminton. So the sexiest I've ever looked, obviously.
Yeah.
And she sprints across and like made to like jokingly grab one of the strings to like because she's pissed again, rightfully so, in this story. Like, I am not a good person here. And she meant to do it like jokingly, maybe, and then ends up whipping off the entire bathing suit and I just flashed just the woman and that one man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he did get something out of it.
Like, did she have the bathing suit like accidentally in her hand? Like that
it
was like
fell off, and I had the zero reaction apparently, and was just like stared at him, and he closed his eyes, and then I just went to the ground. Like, we are still very good friends. He's like, I've never been more horrified. Like, I used to tell the story, like, yeah, he got to see something. He was like, what are you saying? That was terrifying. So you've been telling
my
it
eyes
that
were
way?
Closed as soon as I knew what was happening.
He's like,
I saw my life flash before my eyes.
He's like, the second, like, the bush jumped out, he's like, I can't, like,
yeah.
It must have had a spring action at the time because no one was doing
when it got
anything.
like 4D was when they had to.
It came at him.
Do you remember the bathing suit?
Vividly. It literally
Take us there.
If I want one person to be listening to this and remember this Target bathing suit, it was white, which was white for exactly one wear, and then became like a faded, like just faded
like that
yellow.
beige
Yeah, like a beige color. It was like, it was like immediately my mom's like, you should separate it, and then there it was.
Yeah.
But it had little like red hearts all over it. And the ties had little like plastic red hearts on them too. So they like
jinglies.
So when you walk, so I was like, "He's so cute. I'm the cutest. I'm definitely gonna flirt with someone playing badminton in this."
Yeah.
So I had to get it.
And then you did.
And I did. And she broke the bottom, and then she lived in the area, so she just brought me another bathing suit bottom, and it was fine. But that was probably the first time I had been embarrassed ever in my life, and like that story gets told still to this day, forever in my life.
But so when she pantsed you and you like realized what happened, were you mad at her? Like, did this result in any kind of like, did you guys talk about it?
No, because we were children. Like, I wish we had
that's
like
so funny.
like, I wish we had like a sit down after and been like, okay, this is maybe a crux that we're not going to discuss for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
But no, I was just like, oh, it's fine. And which it was not probably. But we just like laughed over like, oh my God, that's so funny that happened. No. What
was this at
we're on a podcast, like no one can see me being like
it's not mine.
This was someone's house, not a public pool, right?
No, thankfully. It was in Connecticut, most people like we have pools.
So it was somebody's house. So what was that person like? Why were they like, what the hell is going on? Or were they like, cool, I throw rad parties, like
yeah, like how much of a thing was it?
That's the worst part about where I grew up, because that was maybe like a footnote in the things that happened to me growing up.
Yeah.
Like arguably the most embarrassing, but people, if you like brought up, they're like, oh, I do recall that. And then there's another laundry list of me and my family in Instagram of what we've done. It's not the top thing.
And your family thankfully, is like, that's nothing.
That's very bottom of the list. I feel like if I told my mom, she'd be like, yeah, that's tracks. Probably. 100%. I might have told her at the time, but I don't remember.
So I'm trying to think. Okay. So then the party went on. The trampoline boys, did word spread to the trampoline?
Yeah, we ended up telling them, like, it was like the story of the party, and all of the guys, rightfully so, acted again like upset. They're like, oh no, we missed it. And my friend's in the corner like bleaching his eyeballs. He's like, you've missed nothing, please stop asking about it. Like, I wish to never see this again.
Like, at least he was not like creep. Like, no one was creepy about it.
No, thankfully. It's very funny hearing you say that and like having the people in my mind's eye. Like,
where everyone's like,
I can't imagine any of them spinning it in a creepy way.
Listen,
or any way to make me attractive. Like, I don't get out of this where they're like, yeah, that was sexy.
We have to ask these clarifying questions because we get a lot of different kinds of stories, and we're just trying to, delineate between nice kids and creeps. So it's nice that these were nice kids.
I do remember, like, this is like, I remember don't you guys remember pantsing was like a thing that you did to people all the time, especially when like mesh shorts happened.
That was queen of it.
Yeah.
That's where the bullies come from. Like my basketball team has they have probably something written. It's not good.
Like you would know to like wear, if you're going to wear mesh shorts, you were like, I have to wear full underwear because I'm going to get pants. Like, especially playing sports. Mm-hmm. Like you just got Laura's like, absolutely not.
This wasn't a part of my experience.
Like, I will say there's a very real time. There's a very real time during like the Me Too movement. I was like, we were fucked up for that. I was like, I taught like a whole generation of girls who play basketball to wear spandex like every day.
Oh yeah.
And like, it was a rightful thing during sports, but like, that's so bad.
And it was other girls. Like, we would just be like, yeah, we're gonna pants each other. Like, oh, are you talking to someone that you think is cute? Someone's gonna pants you.
Yeah, for sure.
So you were constantly on guard where you were, I remember like standing and talking to people, and then you'd see like the pantser friend walk by and you'd be like, you just hold your waist.
Menace.
But it just reminded me that one time my sister and I were, my uncle was babysitting us, and he was like, a little bit, he was older than my mom, so like he just felt a lot older to us, but we were out in the yard and we wanted to like go swimming or something, or like at our neighbor's house, and my grandmother's neighbor's house, and he like lived with my grandma, and he lived like alone, like with her, like, so he was like an old hippie or whatever, and my sister or me, I can't remember who did it, but one of us like pantsed him because we thought, like, we didn't get that would be weird. You know what I mean? Like we were not, we were very young, and I remember we were like, pants, and we were like, what the, and we were like, oh, bad idea.
Reminds me of the one scene in like 13 Going on 30 where she's just like whips the pillow at him. Like, that's I was like, I can't. Oh my God, that's traumatizing. No.
Yeah, and we were like, now I think about it, I'm like, that poor man. I was probably like, what the fuck?
That was like such a real, like, that's so funny. That's such a real part of the millennial like journey. And no, if you try to explain that to someone today, they'd be like,
I know. They would be like, so you got violated every day? Yeah. And you were like,
every day?
You'd be like, no, I just had to hold my pants if my friend walked by. Like,
what do you mean? What, like, it's,
no, it makes you tougher. What are you talking about? I'm on edge. I'm looking.
Give me a good reaction time. Laura's like, you guys were abused. She's very concerned.
I'm just like recounting. I certainly had toxic behavior that I've hopefully grown out of, but I didn't pants. I think I slapped people's butts. I think that was mine, and I would do like that in the hallway, butt slap. Mm-hmm. And now I understand you can't just hit people in their butts.
I was definitely a butt slapper too.
That and boobs in college. That was like a
boob grabbing.
Boob
was
grab
whole
was
thing.
A whole thing in college at that age, I think.
Do you know what?
I'm excited. I think I know what it is without you even following up. And I also know we don't call it the same thing, but please proceed.
Do you know what corn dogging is?
Is that what you thought, Kayleigh, she was going to say? I thought of some things, and that was not one of them.
I have mine, but I'm going to hold on to it because now I need clarification.
Okay.
I'm not going to play my chips yet.
Yeah. It's corn dogging.
Okay. Corn dogging.
I think you're the worst of all of us.
I'm like so confused.
Okay, listen, we just did pantsing.
Yeah, now I'm concerned. Like,
No.
We didn't have barbecue food involved.
It's okay. So someone has their back to you, and you put your hands on their shoulders, then you knee their butt real hard, and that's a corn dog, and it's so funny. And
okay, I never heard it called a corn dog.
I've never heard it called that. I've never participated. I've seen men do.
Yeah, well, I learned it from a man who could guess. But I was like, I've recently. My boyfriend was trying to leave my home, and I fucking corn dogged him good.
Did you corn dog him?
To the point where he had to come back in the apartment and collect himself, and I laid on the floor laughing so hard I couldn't breathe.
My friend Megan, and I'm gonna say her name.
Oh no.
She would just, I think she just called it butt lift. And so she would be like, huh, butt lift. And
yeah.
And she was like, I think she's probably like 5'8" or something, but at the time that was like enormously taller than every child. So she could butt lift you like you hit the ceiling.
I was thinking you were gonna say that I never say it right, but I think it's like the something salmon, but like you put your arm.
Yeah, that is the worst thing.
I literally just I don't even know what
is it?
It's the worst fucking thing. It's so invasive. Someone
put
sticks
it right
their
between,
hand
like,
between their thighs and smacks it,
and you like a salmon tail. It's very fun.
The first, yes, that was someone did that to me as an adult, and I was like, oh, absolutely, the fuck not. No,
it's very invasive. Yeah. Something that's not invasive, but definitely could lead to harm in older adults is knocking out your back of your knee.
Yeah. Get old enough and that it does it to itself. Pretty fun.
If you combine a butt lift and a knee knockout together, whoo, that person doesn't stand a chance.
No. Kids I feel like when I was in middle school that shoving somebody against the wall to try to make them pass out
was cool.
No, you know that one.
Oh my god!
Wait, what?
That always comes back around.
Yes, I was gonna say
really messed up, but like
it's in the news every few years. But yeah, it's just like
my
kids
mom informed me of it every time.
But we
at 27, I'm gonna finally try it. She's been warning me not to choke myself out since I was 7.
We used to. I remember being in band, so I was in 6th grade or 5th grade, and we would do that, Laura, but we didn't shove each other. We would take we'd come up with these elaborate recipes of how to pass out. So we would take 5 deep breaths, and then we'd hold we would choke ourselves so we could try to pass out in the middle of band practice because we were really cool band kids. But I think I remember not I don't think I ever passed out, but I remember being yeah, I feel like I'm gonna, but I completely.
Your brain says thank you.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sure.
Oh my gosh. That's I love those stories though, because not that I forget, but we didn't do anything. No. We were not cool. Our section of Connecticut was just, we hiked. If you had to do, I have my very good friend, and we both are from the same high school, and we meet people out here, and what did you do for fun? I was I shit you not, hike. That's what you call your friends, hey, you want to go hike? And not on a new hike. That's kind of
nice.
Yeah. For 18 years.
My friends were, I'll say this, my friend from my hometown, my high school friend, we have a group chat of us, and truly she just texted us the other day, and she said, and I quote, hold on, I have to try to find it. She said, "Do you guys want to go to a barn dance this Friday at a pumpkin patch? It's from 6 to 10, free to get in, live music and drinks." So, yeah, we hiked too.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Yeah.
We went to the bowling alley a lot. a lot.
We did that too. We did it like we did bridge jumping. Like we did like a lot of dangerous hiking. Like we did a lot of hiking where we did hiking places where they'd be like they'd have to post signs to be like you can't cliff jump. Like we did a lot of cliff jumping and bridge jumping and that kind of stuff.
We would do like once in a while, but we were just so type A, like nerds. Mm-hmm. Like we just didn't. Like my siblings, two grades down, were doing the weed in like 8th grade.
Doing weed.
Like I didn't drink until like my prom of senior year, and I had a Smirnoff, and I was like, "This is saucy." Like we just didn't do anything. It was wild. We went to the one of two pizza places that we had in the strip mall. That was our center of town. Yeah. That was it. Didn't have a grocery store or a pharmacy. So
wow.
If the difference in the pizza place is old and young, and one place cuts it triangular and the other is square, and that's it.
Wow.
It's the only difference.
Did anyone at your school ever do got your neck?
No, what are you guys doing over there with the corn dogs?
Chicken,
I learned corn dogs in college, first of all. Yeah. But no, this got your neck was mostly reserved for like boys and tough girls, and that was just aggressively slapping the back of someone's neck so you could yell got your neck.
No. What?
No, we did not do that.
All of yours are like we were pantsing and maybe like invading people's privacy. You were abusing people in your high school.
I never played
we
that.
all got over. I think people got over pantsing, but the back of their necks will never recover. No.
I feel like the neck might have been middle school. I never did it. Obviously, way too aggressive for me. And then in college, I found my true form as a corn dogger. But
did anyone remember like the catchphrases were the worst? I think for me in like high school because we were so aggressively white. So I know these catchphrases did not come from us. They came from another school that like had diversity.
That was
like,
cool.
Yeah, that was cool. And like someone played basketball somewhere. So all of a sudden you have like just 65 white kids being like, yeah, that's mint. Like what? Like that was my senior year. And I just know not a single one of us came up with that.
I do remember
like bring it on.
Grade, yeah. This girl said cool beans. And I remember being like, wow, that's cool.
I still say that. For sure. Still respond.
I was like, yeah, cool beans. Sure.
In middle school, college saying dude a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. In middle school, you just didn't want to be an offie. That was the big one. And an offie was like a loser. And many years later, I was substitute teaching at my high school. And I was angry at some kid who was being terrible. And one of the other students who was like sitting on the window sill, like yelling out the window, like turned at me after I yelled at this other kid and was like, it's all right, miss. He's an offie. And I like my heart, I was like, oh, I haven't heard that in a long time. And I appreciate hearing it, but I can't say that to you. So I just need you to get off the window and please go sit in a desk. And then I was like, I shouldn't be an educator. Okay.
You're like, this isn't a good fit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Just memory lane. Kayleigh, where can people find you online or in person?
I am on I'm pretty sure on all the socials. You can find me on LinkedIn if you really would like to. I have not updated that since.
You can find her at the pool party.
Pre-panorama, if anyone wants to check out when I was employed. But it's all the same. It's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I really don't care about the rest. If you want to follow me on TikTok, that's all I care about, which is not the correct way to promote being a stand-up comic. But
that's fine.
It's all I've wanted out of this terrible year and a half is to just go viral one time on TikTok and then I can die. Happy maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, but did you tell us your handle?
No, I did not.
And we'll put links to it.
It's at literally Kayleigh2519. And let me just make sure because I forget constantly.
This is top tier marketing that you guys are listening to right now.
If anyone's wondering the job that I did lose pre-pandemic, it was in marketing.
Just like you can find me at corndog 8675323 _Kayleigh.
It's always at Kayleigh Dumas. If it's not coming up like straight shot, there's an underscore or the under. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So what is it? What is the TikTok?
Literally at Kayleigh Dumas. At Kayleigh Dumas.
Guys, we're gonna just check the show notes. We're gonna put it.
I made them all just my name for this exact reason, and it clearly has not helped anything.
Hasn't stuck yet.
That's
all right.
And listener, you're never too young or old to be diagnosed with ADHD. So if you
I'm glad you followed up with that, not me, because I was like, I was watching it like, this is shocking. It took for that long. I did. I asked my parents, they're like, we kind of knew. And I'm like, I'm glad you did nothing about that there. It happened a hell of a year. Jeez. What's your handle? Literally your God-given name. That's it. Made it that way.
I like that for 7 minutes of it. I was like, is literally in the name?
I know. No, it's like, we'll address it. We'll get there.
It's never too late, guys. Investigate your own brain.
Follow Kayleigh at literally her name. Mostly just on TikTok. But just, piss her off and follow her on other ones too. Make her a well-rounded stand-up. And then follow Pinky Promise. We're at Pinky Promise Pod. And I don't know, live your truth. Keep your pants on.
Yeah.
Don't corn dog anybody.
Like and subscribe and give us those reviews.
Right, like and subscribe and give us reviews. Well,
and have a corn dog.
Have a corn dog. You deserve it. Thank you, Kayleigh.
Thank you.
We'll see everybody next week.
Yeah. Bye.